I was basically kidnapped into this marriage. I never loved him, yet he insisted on marrying me, on having kids with me. He even had my first love's legs broken. My husband has a mistress he can't shake off. That woman keeps screaming I seduced him, had me tied up and shipped overseas so she could make me disappear. My first love got there just in time and pulled me out. When my husband finally showed up, my first love died saving me. 5 years later, the man who once swore he worshipped me shoved divorce papers across the table and said he was setting me free. 1. Divorce. My hands shook as I took the papers. Tears brimmed, but I refused to let them fall. Why? My voice cracked, thick with congestion, while I stared at the man in front of me. The years we've walked through, the 3 children we made, what do they count for in your eyes? You saved divorce, and that's it. What am I to you? Exactly? Chase looked at me, eyes so layered I couldn't read them. He lifted a hand to touch me, froze halfway, then let it drop. Fawn, these years I've wronged you. I want to set you free. No, honey. I grabbed his forearm, nails sinking deep. I don't want a divorce. I love you. Didn't you swear we'd stay together forever? When he saw me screaming myself hoarse, panic flickered across his face. Sorry, Fawn. It's my fault. We're not divorcing. We'll stay together forever. His iron band of an arm locked me against his waist, crushing until I felt my ribs might fold into his. I beat at his chest while I sobbed, letting the tears drip off my chin onto his jacket. Chase exhaled, folded me closer, and patted my back. Don't cry, baby. Hidden against his shoulder, I curved my mouth in a silent smirk. Chase, after all these years you still play this cheap game. I bore him 3 kids, and he still can't relax. Guess that shows how well he knows me. He's aware I'll never love him. Every few months he trots out this trial balloon to test whether I truly want out. The first time he suggested divorce I was thrilled. Thought he was finally releasing me. My delight stabbed him right in the ego. He ripped the papers to confetti, threw me in the basement for a month, and only let me out after I groveled and fawned. Living with him this long, acting the blissful couple has become muscle memory. I see through the performance every time, yet I still deliver the full till death do us part melodrama. I need him convinced I'm crazy for him, that I can't breathe if he walks away. 2. Scar of first love. Chelsea, Chase's mistress, is currently locked inside Riverdale. Because of her, my first love Ryan is gone forever. Ryan and I met in high school. Autumn ginkgo leaves skittered along the corridor while I clutched the homework someone had torn to pieces. Fingernails cutting half moons into my palms. In the janitor's closet around the corner of the 3rd floor, 3 girls with blue-violet streaks blocked me. The leader waved her phone, screen showing a sneaked shot of me wolfing down lunch in the cafeteria yesterday. Poor trash shouldn't even dream of chicken legs. While they cackled, I backed into the cleaning cart. A plastic pail rolled to the doorway. Then I heard leather shoes grind the fallen leaves. I looked up. A boy in a charcoal gray school blazer had blocked the harsh light. Student council rounds. He raised his ID badge. The silver chain on his wrist flashed. I recognized Ryan from 11th grade. The kid who kept winning physics contests. He casually collected the torn sheets. Rule 23. Bullying costs your class demerit points. After the girls slunk off cursing, he handed back the reassembled workbook. Ink scent still on his fingers. Little fool, you have to speak up when they pick on you. Leaning against the rust-flecked door, eyes like obsidian soaked in cold spring water, he said, meet me tomorrow noon, library attic. Sunlight through the attic louvers sliced into golden bars. I hugged my backpack and curled on the wicker chair. Ryan flipped my crumpled notebook. Circling mistakes in red, you pulled a 78 last month. 2 points higher than my own entrance score. When I gaped, he showed me the clip he'd already sent to Dean, the bullying video. Cowards punch down. You, he tapped my doodle-filled draft. Finger landing on the half-finished starry sky sketch in the margin, are stronger than you think. An autumn cloudburst came out of nowhere. I huddled under corner's awning, watching neon ripple in the puddles. Someone pressed an umbrella handle into my palm. Ryan's blazer still held body heat. He'd already darted into the rain. Backpack over his head. Tomorrow's analytic geotest. 3 questions on my hit list. Water beads on the umbrella scattered sparks of light. In my pocket, I fingered the astronomy flyer he'd stuffed there yesterday. Now a sweaty ball. Classroom windows lit up one by one down the hill. I inhaled and stepped toward the glow. 3. Promise under stars. September plane trees dappled the registration line. I clutched my college acceptance letter, fingertips still carrying the warmth of graduation day. That day Ryan had pinned me against my locker, ears scarlet. After the entrance exam, I want to hear your answer. Need help, freshman? The same voice startled me. Sweat dotted Ryan's bangs. Grass blades clung to his team jersey hem. He hoisted my suitcase, knuckles drumming the handle. Math president, varsity basketball co-captain, 24-hour corner VIP under your dorm. Go on. on, inspect the hardware. After that, every dawn brought sticky-noted breakfast on my sill. Beat stats today. Scrawled beside my favorite strawberry milk. Whenever the library closing anthem played, Ryan showed up with problem sets and stuffed my frozen hands into his pockets. Prof says next lab report needs partners. At the Ginkgo festival he led me up to the campus bell tower roof. Dusk stretched his shadow until it tentatively overlapped mine. He produced a star map collaged from real ginkgo leaves, 28 drafts. He confessed, voice softer than the breeze, I traced the one tucked in your senior year textbook. Looking at the blush crawling up his ears, I remembered how my heart had skipped when I spotted his chosen school code in the application portal. Wind whipped my hair. Ryan twisted his hoodie drawstring. Nervous, I slid my cold hand into his. So, can I give you that answer now? Cheers floated up from the field. Starlight ignited in his eyes. Yet he only tucked a stray strand behind my ear. First let's get hot roasted chestnuts. And this scarf I bought, he swallowed. It's the lifelong loan kind for cold cedar undercurrents after I started dating Ryan. We rented a place of our own. That day he told me a buddy had just flown back from overseas, and he wanted me to meet the crew. Ryan, your tie's crooked, I said, reaching up. The crystal chandelier above the birthday banquet scattered tiny halos across the champagne flutes. I was on tiptoes straightening his skewed knot, fingertips grazing the warm skin of his neck, when the room exploded in cheers. Young Colton's graced us with his presence, someone shouted, shoving the private booth door wide. A gust of frigid cedar and mint cologne barreled in, carrying the smell of blown snow. I turned and found Chase unbuttoning his shirt, one slow motion after another, knuckles sliding like he was unwrapping an expensive gift. His gaze brushed the silver band on my ring finger. His ink-black pupils were fathomless. When Ryan laughed and hooked an arm around my waist, my girlfriend, I swear I saw the corner of Chase's mouth lift in the shadows, a viper flicking its tongue. It was snowing harder when the party broke up. I waited under the grand portico while Ryan went for the car. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number, third stall, ladies' room, second floor, something of yours. I frowned and pushed the half-open door. On the metal shelf sat the butterfly brooch Ryan had bought me at the vintage shop last week. Alone under the fluorescent light. Suits you, a voice said behind me, startling me into kicking over the trash can. Chase lounged against the jamb, flicking a lighter. The flame flashed across the undercurrents in his eyes. Watching you dab cake from Ryan's lips back there. Your lashes were soft as breath. He stepped close. The cedar scent of his cuffs mingled with melted snow. But his knuckles grazed my burning earlobe as he pinned the brooch to my coat. A butterfly raised in a hot house will always want to taste the storm. The elevator numbers ticked down. I clutched the brooch, palms slick with cold sweat. My phone vibrated again. Ryan, baby. Sorry it's taking forever. Ice on the road. Stay put. I stared at my panicked reflection in the mirrored wall, missing the second text that slid in from Chase. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Rooftop revolving restaurant. Come unwrap your gift. 5 trap at Queen Psycho. I didn't show up. The guy was certifiable. I lay across Ryan's lap later and asked, Ryan, are you and that friend who just got back close? Grew up together. His family shipped him off, but we still talk. Why the sudden interest? He kissed my forehead, puzzled. Nothing. If I was overreacting, I didn't want to drive a wedge between them. I blackholed Chase's number. Block. Delete. Done. Days slid by and he stayed silent. No new provocations. Then, deep one night, my phone lit up with a single line, Ryan drunk, come get him. Queen. The words nailed into my temples. I grabbed my coat and bolted without a second thought. Inside Queen, scotch and stale cigarettes fogged the air. I wove through the booths until lazy applause drifted from the mezzanine. Chase reclined on a leather sofa, cigar glowing like a serpent's eye. 2 bodyguards flanking him. Where's Ryan? I demanded. Cell phone slick in my grip, ice prickling my nape. He tapped dash. The cuff of his suit slid back, exposing the watch's exposed gears. Poor thing. Huffing and puffing for him. He lunged forward, cedar and mint rolling off him in hot waves. That scarf you knit for him. It would look better knotted around my throat. My slap cracked the air. He caught my wrist mid-swing. Chase licked the corner of his mouth, eyes wild with delight. Kitten finally bares her claws. He yanked his tie loose and pinned me to the chill marble. Look. The screen flared. Ryan slumped against some strange woman, lips on her neck. Still think your boyfriend's a saint? A freeze spread through me. My nails carved crescents into my palms. The second his focus slipped I tore free, barreled into the cold night, and flagged a black SUV. As the rear window sank, the same cedar scent poured out. The driver pulled off his shades, Chase's personal bodyguard. We climbed coastal, the whipped backward like runway lights. Only then did I realize the rose emoji tacked to the text had been the bait in a perfect trap. When the manor's iron gate sealed behind us, Chase leaned against the carved balustrade, lifting his phone in lazy salute. Welcome to the new game, leading lady. 6 caged bird rain lashed the French windows, slicing the villa into a predator's cage. I clutched the severed Ethernet cable, plaster grit under my nails, while red eyes of the security cams winked in the dark. Chase. I slammed the study door. He was polishing a crystal goblet, the stem flashing like a scalpel. Give my phone back. You've lost your mind. He raised an eyebrow. Mad. Footsteps crushed shafts of moonlight across the Persian. I've merely caged a canary that lost its way. He clamped my chin, forcing me toward the wall of monitors. Every frame was a still of my day. Showering, eating, sleeping. I know the cadence of your lashes better than Ryan ever will. I sank my teeth into the web of his hand. Blood flooded my tongue. He laughed, pinning me against the mahogany shelves until they groaned. Trying to rile me, he flicked open the top pearl button of my blouse, breath scorching my ear. Be grateful. My patience runs deeper than you think. Later, when I tried to ram the bathroom window, he kicked the door in and hauled me against his chest. Does it hurt? He traced the bleeding gash across my palm, obsession blazing in his eyes. Hurt yourself again and I'll break one of his legs. Mail it to you. Make you crawl to me begging to stay. Believe me? Thunder detonated overhead. A broken sob tore from my throat. He bandaged me with surgeon tenderness, cradling my trembling hand over his heart. Don't be scared. One day soon our pulses will sync, and you won't tell them apart. Beyond the glass, ginkgo leaves yellowed and fell. I tallied the folds on the wall calendar, and on the 7th full moon my fingers brushed the swell beneath my navel. The doctor snapped the diaphragm shut. The cold disc scraped skin. 7 months. The baby's strong. The words slugged me in the chest. In the mirror, I looked like wax, hollow at the collarbones where Chase had kissed me the night before. Dusk pooled across the salon when the lock clicked. Chase loosened his tie. Lily of the Valley sprigs peeking from his breast pocket, my favorite poison. He knelt on one knee and set the still warm bird nest porridge beside me, thumb brushing the reddened corner of my eye. Were you good today? Let me out. I suddenly flipped the porcelain bowl. The scalding sweet soup spread a brown stain across the Persian. I stood, bracing my swollen lower back, snatched the crystal vase, and hurled it at the wall. You swore you'd release me after the baby was born. Shards burst everywhere. One sliced my wrist, blood beading into the priceless cashmere rug. Chase's face changed in an instant. He crossed the room in 3 strides and pulled me against his chest. He pinned my trembling hand. Don't touch the glass. His palm covered my pregnant belly, warm breath grazing my ear. When our child turns 1 month old, we'll fly to the Maldives and hold the wedding. I'll rent the entire island. I want to see Ryan. I screamed, pounding his chest, tears mixing with the sourness of morning sickness. Chase froze. The arm locked around my waist tightened, cedar and mint cologne closing over me. At last he murmured, hypnotic. Tomorrow, he comes to the cliff top. But you must promise. His long fingers tipped my chin. Put on the wedding gown I prepared, like a good girl. 7 The sea wind's elegy. The ornate doorbell shrilled while dawn mist still clung to the air. I leaned against the peephole, one hand supporting my belly. Outside, a woman in a Chanel suit tapped the gilded knocker with a manicured nail. Her pearl studs flashed cold light. I'm Chelsea. Her scarlet nail traced the curve of my bump. I hear you want out of this gilded cage. A red security cam winked from the shadows. I clenched my skirt. Chelsea leaned closer. The same cedar scent Chase wore drifting from her skin. Tonight Chase flies to Switzerland to sign a contract. We'll take the private jet to L.A. Leave everything to me. She pressed a plane ticket into my palm. In the photo Ryan's smiling face stung my eyes. He's waiting at Santa. At midnight the storm broke in sheets. Clutching the photo, I followed Chelsea through the sub-basement garage. Helicopter rotors tore the scarf from my hair. Not until briny wind filled my lungs did I realize we stood on unfamiliar Raven. Where's Ryan? I stepped back. Crushing shells. Sharp fragments stabbed my soul. Chelsea slid off her sunglasses, the tear mole at her eye glinting. That fool. She lifted her phone, laughing to someone on the line. Bring him out. My face drained of color. You're not here to save me? Surf lapped my ankles when Ryan's roar cut through the rain. He broke free, blood-soaked, and reached for my fingertips, only for Chelsea's bodyguard to shoot him square in the chest. Warm blood spattered my belly. His last word rode the wind into my ear. run. When daybreak came, the helicopter thundered back. Chelsea stroked my ashen cheek, pressing her blood-smeared pearl earring into my hand. Now let Chase taste the flavor of loss. Briny gusts, laced with Ryan's blood, slapped my skin. I knelt on the wet rocks, mechanically wiping his cooling face. Chelsea's muzzle kissed my temple. Sea wind snapped her Chanel skirt, scarlet nail curling round the trigger. A cell ring sliced the hush. She glanced at the screen. Wine red nail hovering over answer. I heard Chase's low voice blend with rotor roar. Give you anything, just release her. Even an engagement with me? Her laugh ground like rusted gears. She yanked my hair, forcing me to stare at Ryan's graying face. Look at this idiot. He threw his life away for you. The instant the call ended, she slammed the gun barrel against my neck. Before darkness swallowed me, I heard her sneer into the phone. Chase, you really ought to thank me. When I opened my eyes again, an emergency blanket shrouded my shaking body. Ryan's corpse lay under a white sheet. Waves washed pink foam over the crimson rocks. Chase knelt before me, suit soaked and mud-streaked. I slapped his reaching hand away. Why didn't you come sooner? My voice turned colder than stone, nails digging crescents into my palms. You promised I could see him. Was this your plan all along? I hate you, Chase. Why? I could have stayed away. Why did you kill him? Why? Why? Tears finally spilled, scalding my skin. Why didn't you come sooner? Chase's Adam's apple jerked, a metallic taste flooding his mouth, watching me collapse. He understood at last. Under the weight of his manic possessiveness, something had already crumbled into shards that could never be reassembled. 8 cold-blooded revenge. Late autumn rain slanted against the manor's French windows. My fingers trembled around the ultrasound report. Chase stood behind me, the cedar and mint cologne on his cuff wrapped in cautious flattery. How about maternity photos next week? The new studio downtown. Where is Chelsea? I spun suddenly, my rounded belly bumping the desk edge. His hand paused mid-reach. Behind the lenses, his gaze fractured like rain-struck water. The antiseptic bite of Riverdale stung my nose. Through one-way glass, I saw the figure curled on a foam mat. Chelsea was scrubbing blank paper with a crayon, over and over, filling it with twisted red streaks. When she spotted me, she grinned triumphantly. Why isn't she in prison? On the ride back, I stared at neon smears racing past the windshield. Chase's knuckles blanched on the wheel, dashboard glow washing his face ash blue. She's carrying my brother Colton's child. Brake lights erupted crimson on the glass. 3 months ago, the crash. His Adam's apple bobbed. Security cams caught her swapping the brake pads. Colton's in ICU, the doctors say. Wipers beat a steady rhythm. I watched my reflection fracture in the window. The outline of my pregnancy splintered into shards of light by each rain track. Just like Chase's words, seemingly whole yet riddled with holes. When he tried to take my hand, I jerked away, fingertips still chilled from Riverdale's iron rails. Chase, even your breath reeks of lies. Don't think I don't know. You murdered Ryan. After Chelsea was locked up, I visited her almost daily. I pushed open her ward door. She cowered in the corner, eyes vacant. The instant she saw me, she lunged, restraint straps snapping taut. Bitch, what are you doing here? I settled gracefully into the chair, drawing a photo from my bag at Chase. Me and our unborn child smiling beneath autumn ginkgo leaves. Look, Chelsea, how happy our little family is. Chase says, when the baby's older we'll travel the world together. Chelsea's eyes bulged. A shrill wail tore from her throat. Impossible. He loves me. You seduced him. You. I rose, laughed, and crouched before her. No, he's always loved me. You're not even the abandoned white moonlight. Just a repulsive clown. Watching her face contort, the hatred inside me eased. Just a little. Before I left, I deliberately raised my voice at the doorway. Oh, one more thing. I'm pregnant again. Chase says he'll cook my favorite dish tonight. These 5 years. To drive Chelsea into absolute despair and to keep Chase off guard. I'd given him 3 children. Whenever the house fell silent at night and I watched the kids sleep, I thought of Ryan, of how he died for me, until my pillow was soaked. On the anniversary of Ryan's death, I drove to Riverdale as usual, only to be told Chelsea had killed herself. She hanged herself with a bedsheet. No pulse when we found her, the nurse said, flat-voiced. I stood over Chelsea's body, face blank. Outside, I had her ashes poured into a flower pot. She had a son, Chase's half-brother Colton's child. I carried the pot back to the clifftop myself and smiled as I handed it to Chase. She was your mistress. After all, bury her properly. 9A Sea of Hate, a sky of love with Chelsea dead. My revenge could shift into its next act. From that day on I froze Chase out. When he spoke I answered in monosyllables. When he tried to hold or kiss me I shoved him away, hard. scared. One night he staggered home drunk and yanked me against him. Hot breath at my ear. Sophie, don't do this to me. I recoiled. Chase, you honestly think I love you? Keep dreaming. I stay so you can choke on every drop of pain. After that I started bringing male models home, making sure they kissed my cheek on the doorstep while Chase watched. Seeing his face darken fed me like wine. One evening I walked in with a tall, gorgeous model on my arm. Chase was waiting on the sofa, cigarette glowing, eyes like knives in the smoke. Having fun, he growled. I tightened my grip on the model's arm. Tons. More fun than I've ever had with you. Chase shot up, crushed the cigarette, and in 2 strides hurled the model aside and clamped my chin. Sophie, don't push me. I stared back. Push you? You locked me in this manner and shattered Ryan's legs. Did that feel pushed? He died for me, and you'll spend your life paying for it. His hand trembled. He let go. Then he locked an arm around my shoulders. Voice low. We're bound for life. Love me or hate me. You're mine. Sophie. Harm anyone else and you'll learn exactly what I'm capable of for you. The way he said for you turned my stomach. I won't bend. This is only the beginning. He'll drown in the misery he brewed. Days slid by and my reprisals sharpened. I sold the jewelry he'd given me, blew his money on nothing, and humiliated him in front of investors until his company bled headlines. He took every blow in silence. Finally, one stormy night, he cracked, soaked to the bone. He dropped to his knees and grabbed my hands. Sophie, please, stop. I can't take any more. I looked down, laughing softly. Too late. You ruined my life. You erased Ryan. Now the bill comes due, double. He leapt up and trashed the living room, screaming, I love you. I love you. Damn it, stop. Love? I sneered. Your love is a cage. The minute you locked that door, the second Ryan stopped breathing, love died and left only hate. He shoved the divorce papers at me again. The instant my fingers touched the crisp edge, cold shot up my arms like a blade. I fought the sting behind my eyes, but tears gathered, stinging with every blink. I knew he meant it this time. Why? My voice cracked like broken glass. You swore you loved me. Why tear us apart now? Chase's eyes were black whirlpools. It's what you've always wanted, isn't it? Freedom. Take it. I lunged, nails digging through his shirt into the taut veins of his forearm. I don't want freedom. I spat the words against his neck. Half sob, half snarl. We crawled this far together and now you burn it down. You said we'd knot ourselves forever, remember. You'll never shake me, Chase. I pressed harder, watching the pain flicker across his brow, a cold smile blooming inside. I won't let you go, ever. He sighed and folded me against his chest, palm patting my back like calming a child. I nestled into his neck, my grin invisible, eyes ice bright. Perfect. Husband, let's tangle until the last breath.